Hey, this is a one-take shot, so I do apologize in advance if this is kind of weird and I'm tired, but I just wanted to get this done and over with as fast as possible, and hopefully this can help you guys out. I know that there are a lot of guides on YouTube as of this moment, but this is just a different rendition of the same thing. If you have any questions or concerns, talk to me. I'm here. I make mistakes, but just recording this in one take for you guys real quick so you have a better understanding of how fourth encounter of the new raid works, Salvation's Edge. It's quite difficult, but also very easy once you get the hang of it. First, let's start with some basics. If you have a circle, and you combine it with a triangle, that makes a cone. If a triangle and a square, that makes a triangular prism. I like to just call this prism, but technically prism is something else. We'll get to that later. Triangular prism. A square and a circle makes a cylinder. These are all good shapes because you'll notice that one thing that all three of these combinations have in common is that they all exclude a third symbol, and all the exclusions are different. The exclusion from this one is triangle, the exclusion from this one is circle, and the exclusion from that one is square. It's going to be important later on, but do keep in mind that these are good. You want these. Even if they're in the bad spot, that's fine. The things that you don't want are these. Can I change slides? There we go. These are bad symbols. You have two circles connected, that's going to make an orb. You guys should know what an orb looks like. You have two triangles together, it's going to make an actual pyramid. If you have two squares put together, that is going to make a cube. These are bad symbols. If you have any of these and you think that you are done, you are not done. It is your goal to make sure that these symbols are not on your thing. Okie dokie. Let's talk about inside first, okay? So on the inside room, you're going to have a television screen in the front of the room, and you're gonna have three different guardians, okay? Now, this may be different depending on your fire team, but it's really important that you pay attention to what these guardians are and who you are. So in this encounter, you are also going to have two knights. These knights will drop symbols based off of what appears in your room. Now I'm going to exit the slideshow here so I can explain this a little bit better. So let's say on your screen, you have a square and a circle, and they're flashing. Square and a triangle, I apologize, and they're flashing, right? And let's just say, for argument's sake, that you are this guy. You are the hunter with the triangular shape. Okay, I'm gonna blow that up. That is who you are. Let's say you kill this knight, move him off, and you kill that knight. One knight is going to drop triangle, and one knight is going to drop square. Now the method that I use is what I'm going to explain. You don't need to do this method if you communicate properly, but a lot of you guys are new to the raid, haven't had a ton of time in it. It might make a lot more sense to do it this way, and the timing is really lenient. So honestly, unless you're speedrunning the raid, I feel like this is just the easiest method. If you have a triangle and you are already the triangle, don't mess with it. Just leave it be. So no need to pick it up. If you have a square and you are a triangle, take the square and give it to the square person. Now, if you're on a different side, let's say you are actually the warlock this time. If you are the warlock and you're picking up squares and you have a square and a triangle, for example, might not always be this way. You might have two different symbols. And this knight drops a square, and this knight drops a triangle. You're going to want to ignore the square and take the triangle over to the hunter. The hunter on everybody's screen is going to be holding a triangle in his hand. Titan, circle, warlock, square. That's how you determine who you are in any given room. First thing you should do when you enter a room is always look at who is what, you know? So if I'm the hunter, I walk over, I see, okay, I've got the triangle, I'm going to kill two things, and then I'm going to dunk. Now the goal of this procedure is to make it so that If I am on triangle side, I know I'm on triangle side, I want to have two of the exact same things. The Titan is going to have two circles. The Warlock is going to have two squares. Now, once you've killed both of your knights, a big ogre is going to spawn in. That's not good. Where's my ogre? Big ogre is going to spawn in. This guy needs to die. When that guy dies, you will be left with two more knights that you can kill. Now you're thinking, okay, I'm on triangle side and I've got two triangles and my teammates have just called out to me that they're in the exact same position. Titan has two circles, Warlock has two squares, right? What do I do? You're gonna kill the knights. The knights are going to drop triangles because that's all you have at your disposal. Think of your television screen as a bank, the things you have available to get rid of, right? If you have two triangles, the easiest way to get rid of these is just the divvy amount. So you know that you're not going to dunk here, right? Because that's you and you have triangle. You don't need triangles, right? You're just going to give one to your Titan friend and one to your Warlock friend. And generally, I tend to do this left to right so that I can remember it in case I get teleported out. I'm not going to explain that mechanic in this video because it's really easy. If everybody puts on different ghost shells and wears unique shit, super easy to get a hang on that. Assuming you've been teleported now and you have two symbols, divvy them out to your other teammates. Super easy, super simple, right? Your teammates will do the exact same thing. If you are not on triangle side and you're on square side, for example, and you have two squares, right? You're gonna kill your knights. So take this one out, put a square there. That one's already out, fuck it. And put a square there, right? Now you got two squares. What are you gonna do with it, right? Take one square, put it here. Take one square, put it here. In theory, if this is done correctly, every single person should be left with two symbols that are not the same as their own symbol on their board. So you're on triangle side and you should be left with a square and a circle. If you are not on triangle side and you are instead on circle side, you should be left with a square and a triangle. If you are on square side, you should be left with a circle and a triangle. It's important to follow these steps very correctly, and it's very important to also make sure that you are paying attention to what you pick up off the ground. The timer is honestly super lenient. Don't let it bother you. You've got plenty of time to get everything right. Just look at what drops on the ground from each night. Pick everything up accordingly. Pay really close attention to what you're doing as you're doing it, and as long as you're paying attention and actively focusing, it's not going to be an issue to do this step. Remember, you want to not duplicate, but you want to pass everything around so that you have two of the same symbols by getting rid of the ones that don't match your symbols for every given side. And then every single side, presumably after you teleport, will need to deposit their respective symbols at their teammates and not themselves. If you've done this correctly, then you should be left with, on triangle side, a square and a circle. Knights will drop a square and a circle. You're going to pick both of them up together. Very important that in no other phase are you picking up two symbols together. You need to do them one at a time, because when you pick up two symbols at once, you create a together symbol. I don't know why I called it that, but you combine the two to make a, in this case, cylinder. Once you have your cylinder, and once your Titan has his triangular prism and your Warlock has their cone, you can exit through the back of the arena, back here, and join your fire team to enter the next stage of the encounter. How do you actually exit the encounter, though? This is what the outside looks like. Everything before was inside rooms, the people that are getting teleported out. The outside rooms, kind of different, right? First thing I like to do whenever I get teleported into a room is I like to tell my outside people the order of the shapes. So it doesn't matter what room I'm in. If I look around, my left guy will be a triangle, my right guy will be a circle, my right guy will be a square, and my middle guy will be a circle. I'll type it out. Triangle, circle, square. Triangle, circle, square. The knights spawn in off rip, and you can kill them. And I believe 99% sure that each knight spawns a guaranteed drop. This knight will always spawn a circle, this knight will always spawn a triangle, and this knight will always spawn a square. Once you kill all the knights, you will have 2 unstoppable ogres appear on each side. One there, and those guys need to be killed just like the normal ogres in the inside rooms to continue the encounter. So, what you're going to notice, there are no circles, triangles, or squares to be found on the Guardians. They're going to be in the exact same order as you expect for them to be, but they don't carry similar shapes. How do we make it win? How do we clear the encounter, right? Well, we're going to want to make it so that the combination of each given shape, granted they do have combo shapes, is the same as what each person in the inside room doesn't have. Simplified, the triangle person cannot have a triangle in their combination. Circle person cannot have a circle in their combination. And the square person cannot have a square in their combination. But they each need to have the other 2 options. And try your best to think of this procedure as taking things away and not dunking things. So, I'm outside, right? I am going to start on left side because I know that this guy can't have a triangle, but he can have a square. So I'm going to take my triangle and let me find a picture of square. Okay. Let's get rid of that for simplicity's sake. So a triangular prism is a triangle and a square, right? I want to get rid of the triangle. So I'm going to take the triangle away by dissecting it. Don't really pay attention to what the things say, what the interact buttons mean. Grab a triangle, take away that guy's triangle, right? Once that guy's triangle is taken away, it's in limbo. I'm going to remove it from the screen. I'm going to kill this knight and take its circle. And I'm going to get rid of his circle from my warlock. Because my warlock has 2 circles. He has an orb. I'll make that simpler too. 2 circles. So I'm going to take that away. And just like third encounter of root, one's going to go that direction. And one's going to go that direction. Now that's going to make a cylinder. Ooh, wrong slide. A cylinder. And that will make a cone. So now that's the situation that we're in. Chances are now your unstops have respawned and you've re-killed your knights. So let's assume that that's all happened, right? And you notice that your hunter doesn't have a triangle anymore. He has a square and a circle. So he's actually good. You don't need to mess with that guy anymore. Your Titan has circle flavor and your Warlock has square flavor. Your Titan doesn't have circle flavor. He has triangle and square. So your Titan's good. And your Warlock has a circle and a triangle. And he's a square. So you're good. What this has done is this has opened up the room so the people on the inside, once they've gotten their combo buffs, can leave and do the next part of the encounter. Now I am going to do another example for you guys. Let's say you are on the inside room and you have triangle, square, circle. You're going to type your teammates TSC in text chat. Triangle, square, circle. Now the hunter, let's start with the warlock this time because we did hunter last time. So let's say we're the warlock, right? And we're in and we have circles. What do we do with them? We're going to take our circles and we want to have 2. So let's say we have 1 square and 1 triangle. You say, okay, I am going to take my knight, kill that guy. He drops a triangle, and this guy drops a square. Kill both knights, they drop both symbols, right? I'm going to give that titan his square, and that hunter his triangle. Cool. What next? Well, hopefully, if your other teammates did the exact same for you, now granted it won't be the same symbols, but it's the same process. You never want to give yourself your own symbol, never want to pick up your own symbol, and you want to take the other symbols and dunk them at their respective locations. Triangles go to triangles, squares go to squares. Triangle goes in the triangle hole, square goes in the square hole. Just like when we were little children. Once you've done that and you've divvied out, you're done. Inside's actually really, really simple. You just combo your shapes and then leave. Every single inside orientation is always going to be the same mechanically. You kill the knights, you take the symbols that do not belong to you, and you dunk them on the person that is not you, that matches the symbol. Squares go to squares, circles go to circles, and then, since everybody has the exact same image, you just divvy them out to the people that aren't you. So, in this case, you're the warlock, so you've got 2 circles to work with, right? You're going to take 1 circle and give it to the titan, and 1 circle and give it to the hunter. And you're done and free and easy. Then you kill your knights again, and you take your combo shape, which will be a triangular prism in this case, and you run out. What do the people on the outside need to do to make this combo work? Let's say your hunter has a cone, titan has a triangular prism, and your warlock has a cylinder. Now, I am going to take the triangle away from the hunter because he has triangle. Remember, T. The triangle needs to be taken away from the hunter. I'm gonna simplify this using more symbols. So he has a cone, and let's say we take the square off of the titan, because the titan doesn't need a square, right? Titan is triangle and square. So I'm gonna take triangle off the hunter, square off the titan. Now I'm going to take circle off of the warlock, because I know he doesn't need it, right? I'm going to take this circle, off the warlock, and a triangle off the titan. And now, T, triangle, no triangle. Square, no square. C, circle, no circle. What we've made is a triangular prism, a cylinder, and a cone. This might take multiple attempts, but there's only one thing that I think is super important when you're doing the outside shit. Learn how to do it with a team that you're friends with, and then every single time you run the raid, you have one person do it. Not one person for the entire encounter, but if 3 people get teleported and 3 people are outside, little Jimmy's gonna say, hey, let me help you. And you say, nah, man, I got this shit. Do not let anybody help you with anything. All you want people to do is kill your knights for you. And all you want people to do is kill your unstops for you and tell you where the symbols are. Which should make sense because they do drop like this every single time, but still. The more people you have doing the outside section of the encounter, the more confusing it is. Because if somebody messes with your swaps or does something weird, then it's just going to make everything so much harder on you. I promise the easiest way to accomplish this is just to let them do their own thing and tell them to let you do your own thing. One person does this section of the encounter, leaves it be. I'm going to do one more example out of the sake of repetition. Circle, square, triangle. Type CST in chat. You take circle, you have a square and a circle. You're going to take the square and give it to the titan, so he has 2, and you're not going to do anything with the square and the circle. Same process as before, nothing changes on the inside. You're just collecting 2 of your symbols by getting rid of the ones you don't want, And then as a team, you're divvying everything out. Then once everything's divvied out, kill 2 knights, grab both of their symbols, combine them, then leave. Now, what you do with this encounter, outside, this is the worst rotation ever. I hate this one. This actually ruined one of my runs. Okay. Let's simplify this a lot more. Two circles, 2 squares, 2 triangles. Now, he can't have any circles, he can't have any squares, and he can't have any triangles. So let's swap, I don't know, 1 circle over here, 1 square over here. That's a start. Now let's do 1 circle over here, 1 triangle over here. And then we'll do 1 triangle and square swap. And we've done it. Cleared the encounter super quickly. What you've done now is you've made a rectangular prism, a cone, and a cylinder. And that guy has no triangles, that guy has no squares, and that guy has no circles. Important things to keep in mind. Don't let anybody else do your rolls for you and outside. If you're confident with them, let one person, as soon as everybody gets teleported, call out. Just be like, hey, look, I'm doing this. Don't let anybody stop you. Just do it on your own because it makes it a lot easier. As long as people are killing ads for you and everything, then it should be super easy. Inside, repeat the same steps every single time. As long as you're being really cautious and making sure that you're picking up the correct symbol to dunk, then you should be good. Remember, if you're on the same side, you're always getting rid of the same symbols. No triangles can stay on triangle sides. No squares can stay on square sides. No circles can stay on circle sides. Get the same of every single symbol off rip, and then get rid of the excess. Just divvy it out amongst your other 2 teammates. A lot simpler that way. Do not pay attention to the timer in this encounter. It's so easy to get everything the right way. The only reason why the timer is a run killer is if you mess up. If you mess up too badly, and then unfortunately you don't have enough time, which is why it's really important to just main text chat, type everything out the way that you want it to, and then get everything done. Super simple. One way that I do like to do this, and I never thought to actually do this, write this out beforehand, so I'll type it out now, right? Let's say in text chat, I'm outside, right? They call out triangle, circle, square. So you're going to say, okay, triangle, circle, square, new line of window. I am going to look at what I have. So here I have a cone. Here I have a, what would I have? I don't know, a cube. And here I have a cone. 2 cones and a cube, right? Now, the cube is kind of okay, but I do want to move one over to the other side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my spacebar. So I'll say, okay, I can't have a triangle here. So I'm going to take a triangle out of here. And I'm going to take a square out of here. So that should leave us with cylinder, triangular prism, and cone. Now cone's good, triangular prism's good, and cylinder's good. So you've cleared. Nobody else should need to use comms or text chat for anything else in this raid. As long as you know what you're starting with, the only person that should need to use text chat or comms is the one guy. Because believe it or not, if you're on the inside, all you need to do is duplicate your shapes. I say duplicate, that's not what it is. Transfer your shapes so you have the same. Then pause. Do the death thing. And then take your guys' shapes and divvy them out. And finish. Text chat should be completely open for the other guy, and you don't really need to use comms for anything else. Alright. Hopefully this helps. I don't know if this actually made it easier on anybody, but I tried to make my own spin on the same thing that a lot of other people are doing right now, and maybe this was easier. But feel free to take screenshots, take advantage of what you need from this information. I can show more footage from the raid if you'd like for me to, my team running it. I have a couple of clips already arranged if you need that, but otherwise, bingo, bango, bongo. Good fucking night.